All right, guys, today we have one goal and one goal only, and that is to get the interior as complete as possible on the Evo 8. Now, if you look down here, you can see our carpet. I pressure washed this yesterday, let it dry overnight. It's completely dry. And then I went through this morning and blew it off with compressed air and with a vacuum to get all of the little dirt specks out of it. This is the nicest Evo 8 carpet that's used that I've ever seen. So let's put our very, very nice carpet into the car. Alrighty, so how does this sit? That is upside down. That's what that is. I just love OEM parts and how good they fit. They just fit like OEM. Done. Carpet is in, everything is clipped in where it needs to be clipped in at. Now where do we go from here? So the first thing I did was go through and organize all of our hardware. We got screws here, pins there, 6 mil, clips, 8 mil, 10 mil. And I need to go ahead and get this complete dash situated, screwed in, bolted in, make sure all of the wiring is properly installed. And then I think from there I'm gonna move on to hopefully getting some seats in this car. The fronts are good to go. They're in really, really good condition. The rears need some leather conditioner for sure. And I don't think I have any here at the shop. We have a little detail bay or detail setup at the house. I know we have leather conditioner there, but the house is kind of far away if I'm being frank. So let's try to not miss any bolts because a rattly dash is quite annoying. I think the best thing, honestly, that I ever did for this project was buy the parts car. Especially, well, I guess really the only thing we needed it for was all the interior stuff. But that alone probably saved us so much money because I used a lot of stuff out of that parts car. Super freaking handy. Now why does that not line up? I think the most logical next piece is going to be the seat belts, the front seat belts. Much easier to get these in now versus when the seats themselves are in. So that goes there, this comes up. If you didn't check out yesterday's upload, we had these seat belts remade all black instead of the factory gray, which I think is a pretty nice look. Look at that. Seatbelt number 1 is done. You know what? I feel like this pillar cover has to go on first. Let's take a look. I may have messed up. It definitely does. So let's take this cover off. In order for that to make sense, the headliner has to be in. In order for the headliner to be in, the sunroof has to be done 100%. So we kind of need to start from the top and work our way down. The sunroof is working, but it's a little bit sticky. So I need to spend some time adjusting it. I need to go pick up some lube for that seal and just make sure all that is taken care of first. Get the headliner back in, and then we kind of need to work our way down the pillars. And then the final thing we could probably install is the seats and then the center console. So I need to figure out what the heck we're gonna do for lube for the sunroof seal because it's sticking on the roof itself. So after trying for quite some time to get this thing to operate properly and smoothly and consistently is the main thing, it's coming back out, and I'm gonna try my best to get it sorted out outside of the car. So how does this thing freaking completely come apart? Because I think that's what I need to do. Just pull it apart all the way, clean, re-grease, and then it should work smoothly. I mean, technically, I just need to take out every single screw and it should come apart, right? Okay, dokie, this thing is fully cleaned, re-greased, lubed, everything. If it don't work now, it's coming back out and going in the freaking garbage because I ain't no sunroof expert. But I'm assuming that's all this thing needed. Seeing how this car sat for so many years outside, it makes sense to me. Alrighty, see if we can get old girl back up in place efficiently. Alrighty, she is in. Let me get her bolted down and see what happens. Well, it looks like my joke I made earlier about doing a carbon roof might actually come true. It is like 4 hours later. The sunroof is in. I cannot get this thing to operate properly. Now I could just leave it as is and pull the fuse, and I might do that. But I could also do a carbon roof, and that sounds fun. Watch this stupid thing. It'll open about a 1/2 inch for the tilt. It'll close back down. But I cannot, as of right now, I cannot get it to go back anymore. It used to go back, but now it doesn't. And so I'm gonna move forward. The problem with a carbon roof is that it appears every carbon roof I can find for an Evo 8 is overseas. It would not be very hard to replace. I'm looking at this thing right now. It's just spot welded in. Drill out all of the spot welds, pull the whole freaking roof off, and I would rivet and panel bond on the carbon roof, and then put the windshield and rear glass back in. If I'm gonna do it, I need to do it, of course, before the windshield and rear glass do go in. So if you know of one that someone makes in the States, or if you have one that you're not gonna use, or if you're a company that makes one for an Evo 8, that'd be sick. Let me know in the States, because it appears that it's gonna take a couple months overseas. But for now, I'm just gonna put it together, leave it closed all the time. Just pull the fuse and leave it. I would like a sunroof, but if it ain't gonna work, it is what it is. Frick this thing. Well, friends, it is that time of the year where all of us set our New Year's resolutions. And I know a resolution for the majority of us is to be healthier, make it to the gym more, eat healthier, consume healthier products in general. And today I would like to present you with a comprehensive and convenient daily nutrition called AG1. AG1 is made with 75 vitamins, minerals, and whole food sourced ingredients made for just about everybody. I've been rocking with AG1 for a 1.5 years, 2 years, maybe even longer at this point. It's so hard for us car guys to get all of our vitamins and minerals in because we're always slaving away in the shop trying to build these freaking ridiculous cars. This guy having 75 vitamins and minerals in it, this is the perfect nutritional drink to bring with you to the shop every single day. Or you can just slam it in the morning. I'm a very big fan of these travel packs. So all you need is 1 travel pack or 1 scoop of the AG1, 8 to 12 ounces of water. Mix that bad boy up. Of course, toss her down the hatch. And just like that, we are off to a more energized, healthier, focused, and productive day. If your car build is stressing you out as much as this thing freaking stresses me out, AG1 has powerful plant extracts, herbs, and antioxidants to help support your metabolism and promote mental clarity, sharpness, and better focus. If this sounds like something that you need in your life, head on over to drinkag1.com/Devin to get started on your first purchase. With your first purchase, you are going to receive 5 free travel packs and a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3. Thank you, AG1, for sponsoring today's video, and most of all, keeping me healthy, energized, and focused. Alrighty, we got our headliner in. Headliner went in through the windshield opening, nice and easy. Now, of course, if we do the carbon roof, which is what I'm leaning toward if I can find one, we're gonna need a new headliner as well. But fear not, because I have one here on my parts car. All right, now we can move forward with what we started earlier, getting these pillars on and the seat belts on. Kind of work our way down from here. So after that pillar is on, or the pillar cover, seat belt can go on. Now, if these are not in the exact like mounted position that they should be in, then they kind of lock up on you. So if yours are locked up, that's why. They are super picky. Let's finish up this deck lid. So that's all ready to go. Let me blow it off. There's a little bit of dust on her. Okay, so I think how this works is this middle seat belt has to fish up through here. That guy comes up, clips in there, and it just clips down. Imagine that. Now we need the speaker covers, and then there's some little hooks that bolt on there. Let's do the speaker covers first. That side goes there. This one goes like this, and then they need to be screwed in from underneath. And the last little guy is the third brake light. So how? Looks like it goes like that. Easy enough. Let's finish her off with these pillar covers here. Let's see, that wire's got to stay out for the defroster. Okay, moving on down from the roof to the floor. These guys go on next. Let's go ahead and get our shifter fully installed. So I'm going to be running, for now, the WK shifter, this guy here. Same one we run in the Evo 10. And just in case that we don't like it for whatever reason, I do still have the stock one laying around. And I don't think, if I'm remembering correctly, I don't think with this one we run those base bushings. I'm pretty sure it bolts directly to the floor. I could be wrong. I guess we'll see. Okay, clip or cable number 1 is installed. Both cables are on. Now we just need to, one by one, slide these base bushings in. It does require bushings, by the way, because they were included with the kit. So that makes sense. My shifter cables are being awfully sticky and I don't like it. Let's just go ahead and install the shifters on, or the shifter cables onto the trans and see how everything feels. I'm going to be running the JDC shifter bushings. Should make for a nice tight feeling is what I'm hoping. I'm worried that when I took the cables out, I may have kinked one of the cables or something like that, and that's why it feels weird. Alright, everything is hooked up. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, reverse. Something is definitely a little bit questionable with the shifter. It don't feel right, and I'm pretty sure it's something in the selector itself. I don't know if one of the springs is not installed in the right location or what is going on. Or maybe it's just crusty cables. But let's move on. Let's go ahead and do the HVAC stuff right quick. So we are relocating it to down here instead of factory is right up here, because I do want to run a doubled in radio in this thing, of course. But when you relocate it, you do have to do some mods. Looks like that bracket is definitely in the way. It's been a while since I had to do a relocation. I did make a video about it a while ago on the Block 8. A long time ago. I'm gonna have to go watch that for a refresher. So this bracket that we gotta either modify or maybe just leave off. I don't know if it'd be a good idea to leave off. I think the radio bolts to it. Quick little mod though, that should give us plenty of clearance, but let me pull it off and see exactly what we gotta cut. So here's the bracket in question. This guy here. And we're gonna have to lop a good chunk of that out, it looks like, to be able to run this down here. We'll just need the upper section of this bracket. Anything from here down we don't need, because it's not gonna fit anyway. This screw, you kind of gotta screw it in from the back side, and it's a freaking pain. You know what, before I screw it in, I should probably make sure we clearanced enough. Yeah, we did. We're good to go. So I personally like to get the cables on first, and then feed it through the dash and connect to the heater box. The blue cable goes on the passenger side on this climate control here. Black cable going, of course, on the driver's side. Okay, that is complete. Now we're gonna just finish it off with screwing this in place. Let's toss in the instrument cluster, and then I'm gonna give this thing some power and make sure everything is working like it should. So the only things I'm needing to confirm is the cluster, make sure all that works, and then the HVAC. That's so nice. I'm used to the Type R where we have 8 billion different electronics to test and nothing ever worked. First shot, I'm confident this is gonna be a first shot type of Jimmy. So everything with the cluster is working fine, but our HVAC does not. Should be blowing air. We ain't getting no blow. No blow. What could it be? I know we're getting power to it because the defroster is working. That lights up. I'm trying to figure out if I would rather put in the seats or diagnose why my blower ain't blowing. And of course I would rather put in the seats, but I think the right answer is we should probably figure out why my blower ain't blowing before I put anything else together. So let's start easy. Check the fuse. I believe this is the only fuse for the HVAC, and the fuse is good, so that ain't it. I already checked the wiring going to it, and that's plugged in. I was worried that I forgot to actually plug it in, but that appears to be fine. Let me do a quick Google. I could just see if it's getting power right to the motor. Remove glove box, remove cabin air filter, see how the blower spin. If it's hard to turn over, not smooth, you have a bad blower motor. I could do that. I want to say the cabin filter is probably under this guy, which we should probably replace anywho. I bet it's actually pretty filthy. She spins freely. So this wire right here, if you guys can see, is chilling. I figured that went to like the glove box or something, but I'm promising you when I plug this in, my blower's gonna work. Listen to this. Oh. Okay, let's not turn it on 4. Cool. Well, that's fixed. 2 of the wires were plugged in properly. It needs all 3. Imagine that. I thought I was going to take another L today. I've already taken too many L's. The sunroof, and then the shifter. I don't need another L. 2 is enough on the day. I wish someone made one of these that fit better, because this one don't fit all that well. If I'm being completely frank. It's not terrible, but it ain't good. If that makes sense. Before I put the seats in, I want to get all these pieces on. Pieces, not pizzas. I want to get all these pieces installed on the car. They're all a little bit sun faded, like I have mentioned before. This thing sat out for a very long time in the sun, and instead of using some traditional, just like plastic shine, I want these things to stay good looking for life. So Cerakote trim coat, this guy right here, is what I'm going to be using on all of these pieces. It soaks into the plastic, and it's going to look nice for the life of these pieces. And don't worry, it doesn't stay this shiny. As it soaks in to the plastic, the shine dies down. And of course, being that these are interior pieces, I would highly recommend not putting them in the car till they are fully cured, just so the scent from the Cerakote can dissipate. The trim coat really is a cheat code to making everything just look brand new. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm gonna get the entire interior done today. Of course, that stupid freaking sunroof took up the majority of the day trying to get that sorted. So I can get the seats in, but as far as like all the miscellaneous little tidbits, not so sure those are gonna get done today. And we're definitely not gonna move on to Turbski stuff like I was hoping. I think it's time. Now I wish this thing was not on the lift. Oh, this is gonna be a tough finagle. Unfortunately, all you're gonna get tonight is a sneak peek of how the seats are gonna look. And the reason for that is because I need to pull off all of the mounts and sliders and whatnot off those seats and get them on these seats. But that is gonna look freaking nice. Let's toss in some pieces of plastic and see how it looks. So that sits like, I think that front cover has got to go on first. With that like that, that sits like that. It's pretty freaking nice, if you ask me. Wow. Well, I just noticed something not very cool. We put 2 outward dents in a roof. So I guess that's just another sign to go ahead. What are you doing here, Willis? There's a bug on my car. A spider on my car. That might be another sign to just go ahead and get this carbon roof situated. I'm assuming one of the 1,000 times we had the sunroof in and out trying to figure out the piece of crap. Probably one of the times I was really pissed off. I must have dented it. They are outward dents, so it would be easy for PDR to pop them back in, which is what I'll probably have to do for the time being. But yeah, that sucks. They're pretty noticeable. They're so bad I don't even want to show you guys up close. As far as progress is concerned, today was an absolute dumpster fire of a day, in my opinion. I didn't show you guys at all, but this morning I had to mount new tires on Bobby's OEM 20-inch Type R wheels. They were the biggest pain in the ass. Stock, those cars take a 245 30 20, so a 30 series sidewall. And of course my tire machine ain't the most high-tech tire machine in the world, and that really pissed me off because it was such a pain in the butt. And of course when you start your morning off like that, spending hours mounting some stupid new tires, and it pisses you off that much to where you start throwing tools and whatnot, it's just bound to just, you know, kind of ruin the mood for the whole entire day. But we did what we could. Of course, we rolled that right into that stupid sunroof that really irked me as well, but it might turn out for the better. I don't know if I'm actually going to go through with the carbon roof or not. It does look like AMS might possibly still produce a carbon roof, but man, just so much money. So much freaking money that I don't know if I want to spend right now. If I could just get the sunroof to work properly, I would be happy with that, of course. Like, I think it'd be super sick to have the sunroof and have it working properly. I mean, if any of you guys have ever ran into Evo sunroof issues, which I would assume a lot of Evos have sunroof issues, just based off the fact that it's such an old car, old technology on the sunroof. Maybe I'll just take my Duramax sunroof and slap her in there and make it work well. But if I could just get the factory one to work, that would be sick. Get those 2 freaking dents pop back in, that would be sick. I shouldn't have to pull the headliner for that, but obviously to get the sunroof working, I'd have to get the headliner out. It's just that adjustment thing. It's all it's gotta be. It's all looped up, everything's looped properly. It's gotta be an adjustment thing. And honestly, it worked a whole lot better at the beginning of the day than it did at the end. because I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to adjusting the sunroof. There's adjustments everywhere, I feel like. But nonetheless, the interior is almost done. If we just get the brackets on the seats, get the seats in the car, and then there's so many pieces that we had sent off to get made out of carbon fiber, we can't really get it 100% done anyway. And I did have to order the top of the steering column cover, the surround for the gauge cluster, and I think those are and I do need a driver's side sunroof or a sun visor as well. Those are the only pieces that are missing, and we should be good to go. I have a new project coming soon. It's a car I've had for a while, and I don't know if I'm gonna start that tomorrow. It's gonna be kind of a setback for the Evo 8, but you guys will understand why I'm doing what I'm doing when I announce what this new project is and what I'm doing with it. So I don't know if I'm gonna start that tomorrow or not. That was the initial plan, but of course things kind of get pushed around. Well, I just got done editing this video. I almost didn't upload it, and the reason for it is I feel like this is a perfect example of how you shouldn't build cars. As I was going through editing, like with a fresh brain, I'm seeing everything that I was making mistakes on, everything that was going wrong. Like, for example, the shifter, putting the shifter in and the cables acting up and just leaving it and just saying, oh, I'm going to push it off till later. That's how you get to the end of a car build and you have like 800 problems to deal with. So yeah, I'm going to upload it anyway, just to show you guys that I'm a human, even though I'm trying to build one of the world's nicest Evos. In this video, you see me completely just blow over a ton of issues and act like it's not a big deal, which is not cool. So a lot of the things that we did in this video do need to be redone. The sunroof pisses me off. I know it's usable. I know it can be fixed. I don't know what we're going to do there. Of course, the shifter needs to be redone. I don't know if it's a cable issue or if it's a shift selector issue. It's going to be an easy fix regardless, but not if we have the whole interior together. So one of these days I need to backtrack a little bit. And that dash bar as well. Like, if I was in my right mind, I would have at least like glass beaded the dash bar. I know it's bare metal, it's hidden under the dash. So I don't know if I'm gonna pop the dash pad back out and get that taken care of. Just little things like that, man. It's so hard to maintain that same level of, honestly, of discipline as you go through and build these cars, because it takes so long. And it's very easy to start getting burnt out on things that quote unquote don't matter, but at the end of the day it all matters. But yeah, I'll upload this video anyway. You guys can see me struggle with this freaking car, and I feel like it was a waste of a day, but it is what it is.